So when I'm not sitting in this chair doing nothing, I spend my time as a home repair guru. Now I know a lot of you have been asking yourselves, I wonder what Mark's always doing. That's what I do. Oh, hello. Here I am kneeling at the toilet in the bathroom. It's not what you'd think. What I'm doing is I'm actually making one of those videos that shows you how to do something. They're what I watch in order to figure out how to do stuff like this. So I figured I'd make my own, especially to help Dave and Tommy, who they do this type of stuff for a living, but they're always asking me for advice for some reason. So this is sort of a helpful how-to for you two. So I was out of town for a couple days and I came home and noticed there was water all over the floor in here. And I couldn't figure it out at first. Although I suspected right away it was the toilet. But since I hadn't been using it, I hadn't been here, I couldn't figure out why that would happen. But anyway, to keep it brief, it is the toilet. And what it is this tank here is leaking, basically. And I'll show you which part of that is. Okay, so this is what I've done so far to prepare. Number one is I put a bucket down where it was leaking. That was really ingenious, actually, to capture the water. As you can see, there's not much water in there right now. And I'll explain that in a second. Next, I drained this tank, and I already did that, so I can't show you how it's done, but you know, basically you shut off the valve, which is down there. That's off right now. Turning it clockwise. That's what all the guys in the videos say. And so it must be right. And then you flush the toilet, and until you can't get all, until there's just this little bit. Now, in all the other videos I've seen, they always say use a sponge to get that remaining water out and get that out of there. I say, who cares? You know, what's a little water going to do? I've already got a bucket. Actually, I want to experiment and see if it's still leaking first, so I'm not going to sponge that out yet. Okay, so I'm trying to shoot a shot of where the water was leaking. Now, the water was leaking from this valve here. However, after I just tightened it by hand, I haven't noticed any water dripping out, which would really be a sort of a miracle if I solved the problem just by reaching in. I didn't have to use any tools, really. Of course, there's still some water left, but it's not a full. Maybe it's not because it's not full. Maybe that's the reason why it's not leaking. So maybe what I'll do is experiment again and try filling up this tank and see if it leaks. So what I'm going to do is turn this valve back on. You see that valve, and you turn it to the left or counterclockwise. That turns it on. Okay, so I turn that valve back on just to fill the tank up with water, and we'll see if it starts leaking again. Alright, so I filled this tank with water. And I'm going to try flushing the toilet. And for now, it appears as though I have solved the problem. This wasn't as big a project as I thought it was going to be, and I'll probably end up deleting the video. Oh, damn, I just saw some water. Crap, God damn it. Let me get the tools. I forgot the most important aspect of this project is showing you the tools that I have. I have this thing. It's called a something. It's called a vice grip, I believe is what it's called. I have some more pliers, and this is some kind of wrench. Also, I have my hammer. I always have my hammer, and I'll put that to use at some point. Usually, this comes in handy when you're angry. Which I haven't gotten to yet, but I'm about to. You know what? I think I'm going to go. I don't know how to use these. Generally, when you make a video like this, you're supposed to know what you're doing, and I don't. I can't even get these things to function. Hold on, stop the video. Maybe I should do a whole new video just on how to use these types of pliers. These are broken. Now this leak was a very slow leak in the first place. So it's leaking again, son of a bitch. Okay, so you gotta get this water out of here, right? This is the draining the tank part. You turn off this valve. It's a valve. It's called a valve. It starts with a V. Ends with an E. That's very important. Remember that. Then you flush the toilet to get the water out. Hold this up to let as much of it go out as possible. So there. Now, my theory is I'm going to need to replace this sucker. So I changed my mind. I'm going to sponge out this water. Just because it'll be easier. The other option I was going to use was get a straw and just suck it out. But you know, I went with the recommended sponge system, which is recommended. And I, just looking at some of this water, I tend to probably agree. But either or, it's your preference, really. Try using the straw method, and then write back to me, tell me how it goes. Okay, I'm already sick of doing this. It's not how I wanted to start my Sunday. So I'm gonna I don't have the right tools. And this one's broken for some reason. Okay, this is the one I was looking for the whole time. One of these things. This is called a screwdriver. You take your screwdriver and open it up. So I've kind of reached a point where trying to figure out what would cause it to leak. Would it be this thing, which you can't see from over there? And if I replace that, is that going to solve the problem? Okay, I had to stop because I got confused. So, yes, you have to remove this lock nut. It's called a lock nut. So basically, I didn't watch another video, I just thought about it for a while. Figured it out. That's how I do it. So, the word lock nut came to me. I should mention that I started this project without the approval of the homeowner. Hopefully I can figure out how to get it back together. Okay, so now it's off to the home despot to be ignored and have no one help me while I look for one of these valve or fill valve replacement, whatever they're called. I'm going to get two because there's another toilet that has a problem. And you can get these at the Home Despot for like 12 bucks. And I guess I'll get two and then I'll do this project now and then I'll wait for Dave or Tommy to come visit. And so the next step is I'm going to the Home Depot to buy the 3-pack contractor 3-pack of the 400A universal toilet fill valve. And no, I'm not bringing the camera to Home Depot, so shut up. Okay, back from the Home Despot, and I thought about riding my bike there, but I didn't think about that till I was in the parking lot of the Home Despot. So I drove. And I ended up getting just two because it turns out I thought they were going to be 12 bucks each. So I was going to go with the contractor 3-pack for $16.97. But it turns out they were like $6 each. I don't know. So I just got the two. So the receipt here for Whole Foods will tell me nothing. Yeah, it was cheaper, $14.80. So the savings is immense. For Tommy and Dave, I recommend a contract or 3-pack. And then you can just pass the savings on to me for that little piece of advice that I'm giving you. Okay. Talking about $2 or $3 here, so it's money in the bank for me. Okay, so I realized when I was at the home desk spot that I was kind of over this and sick of it, so I'm just going to try to knock this out as quickly as possible. Alright, let's see, do that, okay. This better be a problem, because if this doesn't work, I'm going to be super pissed. Assemble this thing? Jesus. Okay. So, I'm not going to read the instructions. That's a very important distinction. I'm just going to do it the way that I want, because that's how I do things. Just jam this hose on here, and voila, toilet fixed. Not exactly, I need this. God damn it, son of a bitch. This is not how I was expecting this to go. Damn it. So, fuck. I believe this is the part that was leaking, and therefore the most important part, but I feel like I'm going to break it. It's, Jesus. Damn it. Because everything's made of plastic. Jesus. This is the cheapest shit. Damn it. I should have got the 3-pack. Damn it. I feel like it's getting jammed up against the... Fuck. Damn it. 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 Well. I don't feel like I've tightened this enough, but at the same time it's very tight. So I don't want to do it too tight. Alright, let's just see. just a waste of, damn it. So, just to show, I've put this thing back on. There's a little gap there, but I mean, it's so tight, I don't want to break it. So I'm just going to see. I'm going to turn this water back on. You see, this is called a valve. You turn this valve on. The water fills up. And now it's just pouring out of here. Which to me says I didn't do it right. So, damn it. Damn it. Okay, so you can probably hear there's water gushing out of here in a worse scenario than it was previously, which is not good. So, my bucket back over here. Not succeeding. Getting the bucket to where water. There's a part here that I did not consider. Probably should have read these directions. See, look, it even tells you, use a sponge. See that? What I discovered after reading the directions is that I did it wrong. And I should have read the directions. Okay, what you can't see is that I'm swimming in a pool of water here. And I screwed up. And then I got so pissed that I just shut the camera off. So, due to my not reading the directions, I didn't realize they gave me a new lock nut, which makes sense, because that seemed to be what was leaking. This part is very important. This part that this is the old part. But, god damn it, I don't seem to be able to get this tight, which is very important. This is the whole leaking issue. It's getting this motherfucking plastic bolt on here. Well, this has destroyed my back. I still have a leftover part. It's just a clip to clip the hose in, which I've already got, so I don't really need that. But this is the part that is bothering me. Is getting this tight. Vice grip pliers, which is what they're called. don't work. Son of a bitch. Alright, it's time for the hammer. Alright, I was getting too past and I was ready to smash everything with the hammer. But so far, because I put that new lock nut on, it is not leaking. Let's see. This is the old lock nut. I don't know why it will cause it to leak. That didn't flush all the way, so that worries me. Most importantly, it's not leaking. Maybe I don't have it. Let me try flushing it. Okay, that flushed all the way. And it is roughly intact. And I've set it at a low setting for the water tank, so I won't use as much water. And that's because environmental. And that's how you do it. Shut up. Okay, that's enough!